Welcome to Inside the Battle Volume 5. My name is Dustin Browder. I'm the Game Design Director on Lord of the Rings, The Battle for Middle-earth. And today we're going to talk about the new interface that we're putting into Lord of the Rings that will really give you some real extra edge over the enemy and let you control your troops in all new ways on the field of battle.
This is Inside the Battle.
So traditionally in RTS gaming, players have played the game primarily through a bottom bar at the very bottom of the screen. This is the interface the players have kind of become accustomed to using as they navigate their way through various battles, whether it be with tanks or with orcs or all kinds of creatures in real-time strategy games. And one of the things we've noticed with watching players play this over the years is this has really kind of become a hindrance to them in a lot of different ways. Players now are kind of routinely focusing down on this bottom bar. They're not looking at the screen, they're not watching their troops and seeing what they're doing, they're trying to play the game exclusively through this bottom bar. So one of the things we're trying to do with the interface is bring all of the elements that the player's going to want to click on as close together as possible so that he can easily move his mouse and click very quickly from one place to another without having to scroll way up to the top of the screen or way down to the bottom of the screen. Most players tend to keep their mouse towards the center of the screen. And this sort of allows them to move their troops and interact with their troops. So we're trying to get as many controls as we can to the center of the screen. And all of our interfaces sort of focus on this, trying to keep players' mouse movement to an absolute minimum. This is very helpful for the more casual players getting into the game, and of course, for the more serious, more hardcore RTS players, this makes everything much faster for them, and they're spending less of their time fighting the interface and more of their time concentrating on how they want to defeat their enemies.
The idea for the Palantir comes out of that crystal ball that that Saruman uses and communicates with Sauron. So what we were trying to do was come up with something that was kind of evocative of that shape and that magic from the movie, but still worked for the game. The next challenge was where to put that, how to get away from the traditional command bar along the bottom of the screen. So that took some time. A longer challenge was coming up with the rest of the interface, what we call the shell. We went through a lot of different concepts, some of which were metalwork that tied back to the Palantir GUI. Some of them were other things like parchment, which is used a lot in the film and in the DVDs from the film. We looked at a lot of different themes like that for the interface and eventually arrived at what we have now.
So here we are at the Battle of the Black Gate. You see the hordes of orcs streaming out of the Black Gate to come attack our forces here, the forces of Gondor and Rohan, who are amassed out on the field of battle. You can see this Palantir is extremely small. It's much smaller than any interface, any RTS we've ever done before. The reason for this, of course, is you've got these very large armies that you're controlling, these big battles that you're fighting in all the time. You need as much space as humanly possible in order to see your troops and command your troops on the field of battle. We've got the resources here in the lower left-hand corner. This is how much resources the player has to build troops, to build new equipment, to build defenses for his castle. You've also got the number of command points the player currently has. This is how many troops I have on the battlefield right now. And the player can earn additional command points by conquering more territories in Middle-earth. I've also got the resource multiplier, which is a multiplier that affects all the resources the player gets. As I conquer more territories in the Battle for Middle-earth, I get more resource multiplier, which gives me additional resources to build more castles, to build more troops, to revive my heroes if they've fallen in battle, anything I want to use those resources for. To help the player navigate in the Battle for Middle-earth, one thing we've done is change the Palantir map. You can see we've got this battle map over here in the lower left-hand corner of the screen, and what this does is allow you to jump to any part of the battlefield you want to control your troops or control your armies. Now, we've had these in real-time strategy games for some time, of course. The difference in the Battle for Middle-earth is this battle map is no longer showing every little hill, every little bump, and every little tree on the map. And what this allows us to do is easily see our troops. So you can see I can easily see these Nazgul, these little red dots, as these Nazgul fly in towards my base, because I'm not distracted by all the little trees and all the little hills that don't really matter to my battle. Here we are in Lothlorien. You can see we've got our Fellowship here running from Moria goblins that are chasing them. We've got a bunch of new interface elements to control our heroes in the Battle for Middle-earth. You can see But down here along the bottom, we have all of our heroes listed out. You can see what their current level is, and you can see how much health they currently have.
I shall win. Must always be running.
You can even select these heroes by clicking on them once, or if I'm very far from the hero, I can double-click on the hero, and it'll take me back to the hero immediately. This makes finding your heroes in large battles extremely easy. And of course, since there's often large numbers of troops in a battle for Middle-earth, it's very important to be able to find your heroes as quickly and as easily as possible. The buttons along the outside here are just about as close to the characters as we can possibly get them. So it's very easy to simply select a character, and with a very small amount of mouse movement, come over here and have that character use one of his special abilities. You can see Boromir here has just blown the Horn of Gondor. See Gandalf just blasted those goblins away. So one of sort of the motivating factors for us in designing a whole new interface was the realization that players were simply not going to be able to manage the huge amount of control and the huge amount of troops that they had without a better interface, without a more improved interface, without an interface that would really, really let them take control of all of the armies and all of the heroes and all of the magic.
EA Games.